No, I thought your mama was gonna be all right. Be happy. I know I could have done better, but you got to decide. You want to be somebody or not?
The hair, the makeup, the styling in this is just astounding, just blew me away. And so, Amy, I'm curious, what was your reaction the first time you saw Glenn as Mamaw?
Okay, well, the first time I saw her, I was actually with a friend. I've told this story before, so forgive me for repeating. And my friend's like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this is, but there's some old lady wandering around set smoking, and no one's saying anything to her. And I like kind of looked and I was like, oh, that's Glenn. She was so she was so transformed, not only in her physical being, I mean in the exterior, but in the interior of her physical being, that like it was astounding. I was like, wow.
What did it feel like to be in costume and kind of have that somewhat anonymity of being Mamaw?
Well, truthfully, it's like I think the fourth time I've played a character like that it's transformative when you get in full gear. Sunset Boulevard and certainly Cruella, Albert Nobbs, and now Mamaw.
And Hook.
Oh, and Hook. Yes, my chest hair.
Right.
Yeah, so it's well for me, it's like the essence of what we do, and incredibly fun and gratifying. And I have this Matthew Mungle and Martial Conneville who did my makeup and hair. They also did Albert Nobbs, great artists in their own right. So and with Amy and I had Aaron and Patty, yeah, every morning, and we went through our own little transformations, and it really is empowering and in a profound way for me to be able to lose myself like that.
And Amy, I mean, what's the most difficult part of becoming Bev? I mean, is it the hairspray, or is there another element to it that was kind of hard to?
No, I really enjoyed the sort of the physical nature of Bev. I think that she became very familiar to me. She reminded me of girls that I grew up with. She reminded me of how I did my hair for a homecoming, so circa 1989. So there was something very familiar about her look to me. But yeah, I think diving into sort of Bev's reality was a little harder than diving into her clothes. So
But you did your bangs every morning. I just loved watching that. The
I love
final touch was Bev's bangs.
got a
They are great bangs.
curling iron on, which takes a lot of trust from Patty that I'm not going to destroy the wig. So yeah.
Now, I have to say, I mean, you talked about this feeling familiar. I'm from Ohio. I went to college in Appalachia. So a lot of this did look very familiar to me, too. And I know you didn't film it all in Middletown, but I wondered just kind of what was that experience like being there?
Well, for me, it broke some preconceived ideas I had about what the neighborhoods would look like that the family lived in, frankly. And we were lucky to go there before we started shooting. So we had that in our kind of collective consciousness. But, we have some people who aren't from that area have a very skewed idea of what, the people like the Vance family are like. And to see the neighborhood that they lived in, and it made it very real to me. I mean, obviously, because we were in the town and actually, 2 blocks away from Mamaw's house, but it did get rid of some, preconceived ideas I had. It was hugely helpful.
They had the best ice cream and candy store. Do you remember that? I keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna go back to that. No, it was wonderful. I come from a small town in Colorado, and though sort of different in its presentation, small towns, there's something, they each have a unique personality, but they have something in common. So, the small town was something I was used to, but what I loved was how it had its own identity. It really it was wonderful to be there to see sort of the looming shadow of the factory where Papal had worked, sort of to understand the life that they've led in that town. It gave it a real, like Glenn said, it made it real on like a cellular level. You could really, the town had an energy all its own.
I think it was Middletown, wasn't it? Because we also filmed in Macon, but I think it was Middletown. You felt that they were trying to redefine themselves as a town. You know, try to get people to come rather than to leave. And I sense that energy going on.
Yeah.
But let me, we're going to, you know, want to hear a strange story? I went to all girls school, and one of my best friends' grandfather founded that steel mill.
The Arco?
She used to go every summer to Middletown, Ohio.
Wow.
I think her great father, or grandfather, or her great grandfather, but he was very loved. And anyway, that
Like
just
a
blew me
motorcycle factory.
away. What?
Did it turn into like a motorcycle? Why? I'm making things up at this point, I think.
I don't know, but the founder of Arco was Annie Woodhull's.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it.
You've always got a reason. It's always someone else's fault. Some point, you're gonna have to take responsibility, or someone else is gonna have to step in.
Who? Huh? Who? You?
Hasta la vista, baby.